Obafemin destroyed Roman Reigns and stole the World Heavyweight Championship. Hook, no music, dead silence, then slam cut. Roman Reigns, the so-called tribal chief, the head of the table, the man who called himself undeniable for years, just got humiliated. In front of thousands of people live, and millions watching at home, Roman Reigns was taken apart, piece by piece, limb by limb, like he was nobody. And the man who did it? Oba Femin. And if you think you already know what happened, I promise you don't know half of it. Because what went down was so brutal, so calculated, so cold-blooded, that even the most hardcore wrestling fans had their jaws on the floor. And by the end of this video, you are going to be furious. Whether you're a Roman Reigns fan or not, what Obafemin did crossed a line. Comment right now, did Obafemin go too far? Let's get into it. Segment 1, setting the stage. Let's take it back. Because to truly understand the magnitude of what Obafemin did, you need to understand where Roman Reigns was standing heading into this moment. Roman Reigns has been one of the most dominant forces in professional wrestling for years. Love him or hate him, and trust me, this channel has had both sides debating fiercely in the comments. The man's resume speaks for itself. Multiple championship reigns. Main event after main event. He carried the entire product on his back during some of the darkest periods for WWE programming. He walked into arenas and made people feel the weight of his presence before he even said a single word. The World Heavyweight Championship that Roman was carrying into this chapter? That title wasn't just a prop. That belt represented the peak of the mountain. The very top. The place where only the elite, only the chosen, only the exceptional get to stand. And Roman Reigns? He was standing there, chest out, completely convinced, and rightfully so, that nobody was going to come and take what was his. He underestimated Obafemin. And that was the most catastrophic mistake of his entire career. Segment 2, who is Obafemin? The threat nobody took seriously. Here is what makes this story so incredible and so infuriating, depending on which side you're on. Obafemin had been rising, slowly, quietly, like smoke filling a room before anyone notices the fire. The wrestling world had seen glimpses of what this man was capable of. The intensity, the raw, unfiltered physicality that he brings every single time he steps through those curtains. The way his eyes lock onto a target and don't let go. But people dismissed him. The casual fans brushed him off. Even some of the so-called smart marks, the ones who think they know everything about this business, they were out here saying Obafemin wasn't ready, wasn't on Roman's level, wasn't a threat. Let me tell you something, those people are silent right now. Because Obafemin didn't just show up and perform. He showed up and made a statement that the entire wrestling world is going to be talking about for months. The build-up between these two men had been simmering for weeks. There were confrontations. There were words exchanged, sharp, deliberate, calculated words from Obafemin that got under Roman's skin in ways that very few people ever have. Roman Reigns doesn't rattle easily. The man has been through blood feuds, tribal wars, career-altering storylines. But Obafemin? He found a crack. A thin, almost invisible crack, and he drove a sledgehammer through it. Segment 3, the night everything changed. Now let's talk about what happened. Because this is the part of the video where I need you to pay attention. This is the part where you're going to understand exactly why Obafemin's name is trending, why Roman Reigns fans are absolutely seething, and why this moment is being called one of the most jaw-dropping championship changes in recent memory. The match itself started at a controlled pace. Roman Reigns came out, and look, the man still commands a room like few others. The pyro, the music, the slow walk down that aisle. He was locked in. He was confident. He had that look in his eyes that says, I've done this before, and I'll do it again. But here's where it got interesting. Obafemin didn't flinch. Not once. Roman came at him with everything in the early going. The Superman punch attempts. The methodical, suffocating ground and pound game that Roman is so masterful at deploying. He was trying to establish dominance the way he always does, make you feel like the match is already over before it's begun. Obafemin absorbed it. He ate it. And then he started firing back. The crowd, who went in expecting a Roman victory, because let's be honest, most people had already penciled in a Roman win, started stirring. Something felt different. The energy shifted in that arena in a way that's hard to describe if you weren't watching, but every single person in that building felt it. Roman went for the spear, that iconic, explosive, match-ending spear that has put away legends, and Obafemin countered it. The way he countered it was so precise, so well-timed, that it looked like he had studied every single spear Roman had ever thrown and mapped out the exact moment to strike. The arena exploded. Segment 4, the destruction. And then Obafemin unleashed. What followed was something that this channel, and I've been doing this for a long time, what followed was one of the most visceral, most overwhelming offensive sequences I have ever seen directed at Roman Reigns. This wasn't just winning a match. This was a dismantling. This was Obafemin sending a message, not just to Roman, not just to the locker room, but to every single person watching around the world. Blow after blow. Move after move. Roman tried to fight back because Roman Reigns is never truly out of a match, that's what makes him great, but every time he found a moment, every time he started to mount something, Obafemin shut it down. It was like Roman was fighting someone who was always 3 steps ahead of him. The bloodline wasn't there to intervene this time, and that mattered. Because for years, one of the criticisms of Roman's dominant runs was the interference, the numbers game, the way the odds were always stacked in his favor. This time, it was just man versus man, and Obafemin proved emphatically, undeniably, that he is the better man. When the final move hit, and I won't bury the moment with play-by-play, you need to watch this if you haven't already. When that final move connected and Roman Reigns went down, the sound in that arena was unlike anything I've heard in recent memory. It wasn't just cheering, it was shock layered on top of electricity layered on top of disbelief. The referee's hand came down. 1, 2, 3, new champion. Obafemin held that World Heavyweight Championship above his head, and Roman Reigns was lying on the mat, staring up at the lights. Segment 5: The Aftermath and Why Everyone is Furious. Now here is where I need you to stop scrolling, stop whatever else you're doing, and really listen to what I'm about to say, because the match ending wasn't even the most controversial part of the night. What Obafemin did after the bell rang, that's what has the entire wrestling world divided right now. That's what has Roman Reigns fans absolutely burning with rage. That's what has people tagging their friends, sending clips, flooding comment sections, and demanding that this gets addressed immediately. Because Obafemin didn't just take the championship, he stood over Roman Reigns, a man who was already down, already defeated, already staring at his first major loss in this chapter of his career, and he made sure Roman knew exactly who had beaten him. He didn't gloat cheaply. He didn't do it with a smirk or a cheap shot to the ribs. He crouched down, he looked Roman directly in the eye, and he said something. We don't know exactly what he said. The cameras didn't pick up the audio clearly, but Roman's face said everything. That moment right there, that quiet, devastating, ice-cold moment, was more violent than any punch thrown in the match. Because Obafemin wasn't just taking the title, he was taking Roman's identity. He was stripping away everything Roman Reigns had built, and he did it calmly, deliberately, completely in control. That is the most dangerous kind of competitor. Not the one who celebrates wildly and screams and shows emotion. The one who has already moved on to the next target before the last one has even gotten back on their feet. Segment 6: What this means going forward. So where does this leave us? Where does the landscape of professional wrestling sit now that Obafemin is the World Heavyweight Champion and Roman Reigns has been sent back to square one? First, Roman Reigns. The tribal chief is not finished. Let me be absolutely clear about that. Nobody who has accomplished what Roman has accomplished walks away from a loss like this and disappears. He is going to come back with a different mentality, a different fire, and a focused rage that very few people in this industry can match. The rematch, when it happens, is going to be one for the history books. Mark my words. But second, and this is the part that nobody is talking about enough, Obafemin just changed his entire trajectory. He didn't just win a championship, he announced himself to the world. He walked into the biggest spotlight of his career and didn't blink. He took on the most intimidating name on the roster, the man who makes mountains move, and he didn't just beat him, he broke him down systematically. The championship changes everything, because now every single person in that locker room is looking at Obafemin differently. Every potential challenger is sizing him up. Every alliance is being reconsidered. Every plan is being redrawn. This is what a title change of this magnitude does. It reshuffles an entire deck of cards. Who steps up next? Is it Roman immediately? Does someone else swoop in while Roman regroups? Is there someone lurking who's been waiting for exactly this kind of power vacuum to emerge? Drop your predictions in the comments right now. I read every single one, and the best prediction gets pinned at the top. Segment 7: The Deeper Story. But here's what I really want to leave you with. Because beyond the match, beyond the championship, beyond the aftermath, there is a deeper story being told here that I think is genuinely remarkable. Obafemin was counted out. He was underestimated. He was the person that the establishment, the pundits, the so-called experts all said wasn't ready. And he walked into the most pressure-filled environment imaginable, against the most formidable opponent available, and he delivered. That narrative, the one about the person who wasn't supposed to win, who wasn't supposed to be there, who wasn't supposed to belong at that level, that narrative resonates. It always has. It always will. Because every single person watching at home has felt like that at some point, has been told they aren't ready, has been dismissed, has been overlooked. And Obafemin just proved that the only opinion that matters is the one you have about yourself when you're standing in the middle of that ring with everything on the line. Roman Reigns built an empire on the concept of being undeniable. And tonight it was Obafemin who was undeniable. Closing call to action. That is the full story. That is the complete picture of one of the most stunning moments in recent wrestling history, and I genuinely believe the ripple effects of what Obafemin did to Roman Reigns are going to be felt for a very long time. Now I need to hear from you. Ring Rumble 1 family sound off in the comments. Was Obafemin justified in what he did after the match, or did he go too far? Does Roman Reigns deserve an immediate rematch, or does he have to earn it? Is Obafemin now the face of this era? Share this video with every wrestling fan you know, because this conversation is just getting started. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button. Ring Rumble 1 is where the realest wrestling breakdowns live, and we are just getting warmed up. Stay locked in. The Tribal Chiefs war is far from over. And Obafemin? He just made himself the most hunted man in professional wrestling.